And along northbound 41, slow from the Zoo interchange to Swan Boulevard, with the southbound side pretty solid from Appleton Avenue all the way down to Mayfair Road. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly to partly cloudy, chance of sprinkles, a high of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Charge into October. Get your Brewers postseason tickets now. Secure your spot and prepare to unleash chaos, make mayhem, and watch stars come to life in the spotlight of postseason baseball. The Brewers moments you live for are coming. Make sure you don't miss a single pivotal pitch or season-changing home run. Get your Brewers postseason tickets now at brewers.com/postseason.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
Yes, the best 60 minutes. The Milwaukee Bucks getting Damian Lillard. I get destroyed on Twitter because I didn't think there was any chance. And I was wrong. But more than that, I should have given greater consideration to the hiring in June of Terry Stotts. People remember with the Bucks, but he was the coach to the Portland Trailblazers and had Damian Lillard for I don't know how many years, maybe 9, as his star in Portland. So who's going to be more than willing to give great information about Damian Lillard? That should have given me and anybody else consideration that it could happen, because you wouldn't think that he could have Damian Lillard any better promoter than Terry Stotts in terms of, well, but what's he like, and respecting Stotts and knowing that it would, I'm sure Stotts said this would fit great. And they got it done. And so he's the unknown person that I think maybe there'll be more attention to him in the next day or two. But the connection is huge. And certainly, if I was Horst, would have given me a level of confidence in believing how well it would work with those two players. Joining me now is my partner for Marquette basketball, Tony Smith. And because he'll tell us right away. Tony, how excited? What's the proper word about the addition of Damian Lillard? I certainly believe it'll make for a slightly different team with Giannis.
Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I think entertainment. I think fans are going to love it. I think they're going to sell a lot of tickets. Could be very entertaining.
Excitement-wise, it's certainly a good move. I think the Bucks had to make a splashy move, though, right? They were all that talk with Giannis saying, I'm going to wait and see what the team does, or, I want to win and all this other stuff. That kind of prompted the Bucks to say, hey, we got to make a move. And it couldn't be some basic move, some 7-8 man type moves. Had to be a splashy move, and this is certainly a splashy move with a splashy player. Dame is as exciting as they come in the league, especially down the stretch of the game. This guy, I don't know how many game winners he's hit. Somebody can look that up, but he's got some of the most exciting game winners that we've seen over the past few years. And, that's what the Bucks kind of lacked a little bit, a closer, right? A closer to finish those games. Sometimes it's tough on Giannis, especially being, a little compromised at the free throw line occasionally. you got Damian Lillard in there. That guy can close them with the best of them.
Yeah, there's never going to be that problem. I mean, there could be other problems, but that problem
theoretically, yes, you shouldn't. Right, that theoretically that problem. That's what this move was about. It's one about keeping Giannis happy, giving that all-in type of feel and assumption to Giannis that this is what we're doing. Hey, we're going all in for you. We know we want to keep you here, so we're going to make moves that try to make us better. The other thing I do want to point out though, I love Drew Holiday. I mean, this is a guy
that hurts. I don't think I don't think they wanted to trade him, and it's a different team without him there defensively.
And he was phenomenal for the Bucks. All the talk, right, is how good the Bucks are going to be in offense. We know they're going to miss Drew Holiday on the defensive end. There's no doubt about that. The guy I didn't really like as much, Grayson Allen, he's gone, but he was better than average defender, let's say, right? So,
yeah,
so now you got two perimeter guys that you're going to miss defensively. Griff is going to have to adjust to that. He's going to have to put them in some kind of scheme or system to compensate for the loss of those perimeter defenders, because you're not just going to be able to throw Drew on one of their better perimeter guys and then hope for the best. And more times than not, Drew was holding his own against those guys. But
they can make a trade. There's a possibility of
they can still make other moves. No,
I know
question
you would be devastated if they got rid of Pat Connaughton, but I think
ideally they would have traded Connaughton and Grayson and kept Drew Holiday. I mean, then it's over.
Yeah, that's not good enough. And Drew Holiday's going to end up somewhere else. He's going to end up helping a team.
Speaking of that, let's hope he doesn't end up back in the East. Let's hope it goes to Miami or Philly now, and helps those teams out. So we don't want to see him back in the East. Stay out west, Drew.
But I alluded to this. This fires up everyone. I would think it fires up Giannis with a different approach, and there could be another season in which he's injured, kind of like he was, where he couldn't do everything he wanted, and he can do a lot of that stuff, not 100%, and not have to worry about making the last shot, getting fouled. I mean, there's a...
Yeah, they're going to be much better on offense. They're going to be much more efficient. You're not going to have those big droughts on offense that you had before. The other thing is, no one's going to want to try to play pick and roll with the Bucks. They're not going to want to cover. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know how you're going to cover it.
Yes, so your teammate brought that up.
Right, it's going to be a nightmare for teams to try to cover because even if they run the pick and roll, 5-6 feet out from the 3-point line, Damian Lillard can still make that shot. You have to go on top. So it's going to be a nightmare for them to guard. The other thing is, now you got Chris Middleton as the third scorer.
Yeah.
As the third scorer, how about that luxury? You got a guy who's capable of putting up over 20 points a game as your third scorer.
So he becomes a go-to guy at the end of games as well, given who might be guarding.
He's going to be the third scorer because obviously there's going to be a lot of attention on the other two. And before it was either, the attention was on Giannis, and then he was next. Now it's got two guys ahead of him that's going to get all the attention. He's certainly going to get a lot more open looks. Obviously, that people understand that Chris Middleton is still Chris Middleton, but they got to favor Giannis and Dame before they start to worry about Chris Middleton, which is going to give him some unbelievable opportunities. And same thing can be said about on down the line. Lopez, he talked about him getting more open looks and better looks, and that's really what it's all about. Bucks are going to still shoot a lot of threes, I assume. I don't know what Griff has drawn up for the offense, but they're probably still going to shoot a lot of threes just because teams will have to collapse and double and scramble around. Those guys are just going to get better looks now.
Talking with Tony Smith, you lived it as a rookie with Magic Johnson. Everybody wondering, how much did Giannis have to do with it? What do you have to do to make him stay here and not be traded? Or what's the reality of what goes on? I just assume that anything that happens has his approval, but that doesn't mean he forced it.
Yeah, I would agree. And you've always said that, listen, if Giannis wants something, he's getting it. I think you're right. This is not a situation where Giannis says, hey, I want Dame Lillard. He didn't go out and say that, I want to get rid of Drew, because I'm sure he and Drew had a great relationship. He loved Drew just like he probably does Middleton and the rest of his guys. But again, he knows, just like everybody else knows, there's a window with superstars like Giannis, and you want to do anything you can to try to maximize that window when you have that window. And the thing that the Bucks had before the three that they had, Middleton, Drew, and Giannis, it was feeling like, I think, I don't know what it felt like in the building, but just around the city, it kind of felt like, okay, this may have run its course, or we got one championship out of it, but maybe it's run its course now. What are we going to do? So the team probably felt we have to do something. We're going to try to, obviously we're going to keep Giannis, but now we got to make another splashy move. And that's why I said initially, like, they couldn't have just kept those three and then maybe changed, shuffled around the seventh or eighth man, right? That, I don't think that was going to do it for people. That wasn't going to get people excited. People are absolutely juiced right now about the idea of Dame Lillard and Giannis playing together.
Yeah, I don't know what else you could have considered doing to like solve a problem to be different, but to have a person, and you've used this phrase that's real important, who can not only score but create his own shot. Is that was something everyone noticed, and now that's solved, and now, all right, plan B, let's see the new coach, plan B, let's see how that plays out, and can you win a championship? I think to be a great trade, you have to win a championship, but I think I have a lot of respect and more for getting to the finals. I think for this to have been successful, you got to get to the finals the first year. You want to join that club or not?
No, well, listen, that's no different than anything else, right? That's what the expectations have been since they won the championship. Get to the finals.
Yes.
I mean, there's been disappointments the last couple of years, right? You lose in the second round, then you lose in the first round. These are disappointments. But the expectation, I believe, hadn't changed since they won the championship a couple of years ago. So, I mean, that doesn't change.
And they can't have and they will not have the same problem that really hurt them, especially last year, of that not having a guy who can create his shot down the stretch, given any limitations to Giannis because of health or anything.
Right. And again, back to Drew Holiday, I got mad respect for Drew Holiday, what he was able to do, not only on the court, but in the community. He was phenomenal in the community. But when he needed to step up at times, we saw Drew score 30-plus points in games when he had to be the guy, when he had other guy hurt. He just is not, he can't do that over a 10, 11 game stretch. Dame Lillard can, right? He's the guy that's what he does, right? So Drew was doing it out of necessity, and he could do it for a short period of time, a game here, a game there. He wasn't going to be able to tow that much weight consistently over long stretches, long games, or let's say a 7-game series. He wouldn't be able to do that. And now you get a guy like Dame, he can. So it helps in case there is some kind of injury. Middleton, who's been getting injured, he goes down again. They're not going to take as big a dip on offense. Again, my thing still is, okay, what are you going to do defensively? You think with Lopez in there still protecting the rim, with Giannis playing either down low or on the perimeter, they have enough defense when it's going to matter. But like you say, maybe there's more moves to come.
Yeah, and it's just going to be different. And you could do as well, and I think people will be excited about watching the difference. But it's all about the playoffs. The regular season's the preseason to me, and this solves that problem that they had in the playoffs of not having a guy who can not only score but create his own shot. Now they have that. Now there could come up being another issue, maybe the defense, but it's going to be different. Going to be a different issue.
Correct. And
that one taken care of. Check.
That won't, scoring, I don't think will be an issue many nights. Obviously, Dame Lillard's going to have a couple of off nights here and there, but there ain't going to be that many. And the chances of both he and Giannis having off nights offensively at the same time, probably slim and none. You're probably not going to have that issue. But it's all about, you still got to have some depth on the roster, right? You still got, those guys have to sit on the bench at some point. I'm sure Griff is going to have to come up with some kind of system to maybe keep one of those guys out on the floor at least once. It's not easy to do because they're both going to be playing heavy minutes, but you gotta try to maximize their time on the court together and at least minimize the time when both are off the court at the same time if you want to maximize that. Especially in the playoffs, it gets a little easier because guys probably log more minutes. But Man, it's gonna be fun to watch. I think that's the thing. It's gonna be absolutely fun to watch. And the thing I'm gonna watch for first, you call it the preseason. I'm calling it, okay, let's figure this thing out. Season is gonna be early on in the year. Is, are they gonna do that thing where stars get together and let's see who defers to who? Who's gonna okay, it's your turn to shoot this time. Your turn to shoot. Am I going to pass up a shot to kick it to you? Am I going to be overly concerned about getting you involved? That's what you're going to have to watch them work through early in the season. Or maybe not. Maybe we know. We don't know what Griff has planned offensively, right? So that, I think, is going to be a big thing. What is that offense going to look like under the new coach?
I worry most about Lopez staying healthy. That's probably my number one concern. Because if he's not healthy, then that changes everything even more defensively now than before.
Yeah, I mean, all those guys are getting older, so it's when you get old, you get injured a little bit more. But again, I think the other thing Dame does, he takes a load off of other people. Right now, you talk about Middleton who gets hurt. All right, Middleton, you're the third scorer right now. You don't have to do so much. We see Middleton working a lot of time. He was that guy who could create his own shots depending on his mismatch. Right? You weren't going to Drew Holiday much in ISOs. Giannis was limited in ISOs, but Middleton was that guy from the perimeter. Okay, we'll give it to Middleton on the wing and see what he can do. Right? He ain't got to worry about that now. Dame's going to do all that. Middleton, you got to stand on the wing, and when they go try to help on Giannis or they go try to help on Dame, you're just ready for the kick out and take a nice jump shot there. So I think he'll have less wear and tear and less worrying about trying to create his own shot.
Yeah, it should be a piece of cake for him. He probably can't wait. Yes, he's going to see shots he hadn't seen in a long time. By the way, Marquette's practicing. They want all their alumni to come to practice, former players. So,
well, yeah, I got time now. I'm gonna get down there.
Yes, nicely done. Nicely done. Thanks, Tony.
All right, Homer. See you, brother.
Tony Smith on Damian Lillard. And I, again, want to emphasize my belief of the importance of Terry Stotts as an assistant coach of the Bucks. He was hired in June. I think he had Damian Lillard, I think it was for the first 9 years of Lillard's career. And who do you think told the Bucks, you can do this, this can work, this would be fantastic? I'm guessing Terry Stotts. All right, Jason Wilde. Next.
The Bucks have traded for Damian Lillard.
Long range three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard!
React to the trade with us. 94.5 ESPN.
Well, looks like we might have an issue in Racine. Spring and State Streets, otherwise known as Highway C and Highway 38. It looks like they are going to be diverting traffic around this intersection because of an incident. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that's going to tie up your ride if you're going to be heading through there. Be extra careful. Other than that, delays for sure. Southbound 43 slowing from Silver Spring all the way down through the Marquette onto 4394. Does not really let up till you get past the KK River, with the northbound side backing up out of the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. And along northbound 41, slow from the Zoo Interchange to Swan Boulevard, with the southbound side pretty solid from Appleton Avenue all the way down to Mayfair Road. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly to partly cloudy, chance of sprinkles, a high of 68. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 94.5 ESPN.
Green Bay wins their 11th consecutive home opener.
The Green and Gold host Detroit on Thursday night.
I've never been a part of a win like this. The guys in the locker room, they believe in one another.
And we're going to get you ready for the game with Green Bay Game Day.
It's a great win. It feels good. But obviously, turning around, we got a really short week ahead of us.
Tune in starting at 4 as Alex Stroh, Kyle Wallace, and Torrey Lowe get the weekend started early. Green Bay Game Day starts at 4 o'clock Thursday, right here on 94.5 ESPN.
Sunday,
Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, Nitro Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
The Saganiac Planning Marquette Conference Championship moment. The last Marquette Warriors were Great Midwest Conference champions. 1994, 10-2, 2 games better than St. Louis and UAB, 3 games better than the always tough Cincinnati and Bob Huggins, including a huge 1-point win at Cincinnati. And even more greatness made the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tourney. McIlvain, Key, Eford, Logdeman, Miller, McCaskill, Pieper, Abraham, and Crawford. 1994 Warriors champions. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, is looking for a new team member. Apply now if you're a passionate salesperson, an entrepreneurial spirit, great presenter, and problem solver. Help companies make important decisions regarding their employee benefit needs. We offer a strong compensation package and, of course, a top-notch employee benefit package. Don't miss out on this rare opportunity to become a part of Saganiac Planning. Call Big Papa John Saganiac Sr. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Really looking at the entire space holistically. The environment, the walls, ceilings, lighting, flooring, furniture, technology, along with acoustics.
To conceptualize how the end users are going to interact with the room, from the furniture all the way down to the AV, having that work seamlessly within the environment and often hiding within the furniture.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
Greetings, ESPN listeners. This is Matt Anderson with Maddie's Bar and Grill in New Berlin. I want to personally thank everyone for making our 25th summer amazing. The Big Backyard at Maddie's hosted over 100 catered parties and live music events, and we are just getting warmed up as we turn the corner into another great Wisconsin sports season. Our 18-foot LED wall, combined with Maddie's signature hospitality, culinary and spirits expertise, and amazing space makes this your ultimate destination for all things sports this fall. I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
Damian Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck.
A 3 wins the series. It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Oh,
Keep it tuned right here to 94.5 ESPN. Jason Wilde is brought to you by Boucher Automotive, where we ride with you every mile. 18 dealerships, 15 brands, and thousands of vehicles in stock. Check them out at Boucher.com.
Yes, the Packers with a chance to take the lead. Be alone atop the division. Everybody needs information about the Green Bay Packers from Jason Wilde. Every day of the year, we do our part, little part, on the Homer Hour. Good afternoon, Jason.
Very little part. Hey, were we talking this morning about being wrong about things?
Oh, yes. Today was a great one. That was one of my worst. And the really part was, I just should have considered with Terry Stotts around the possibility that Lillard could end up in Milwaukee. Not that he would, but that there certainly would be a chance, because Terry Stotts, I'm sure, told them all he's fabulous, would be fabulous here, and so you couldn't say it's not going to happen. So, yes, you've clearly followed it on Twitter.
Well, look, first of all, I give a lot of credit to Tausch. He was ahead of the curve on this, talking about it back in April after they punched out of the postseason, or as they were headed toward I guess they had lost by the time he was saying this. But I am disappointed. Sydney's our 12-year-old, and she really loves Drew Holiday. So I'm bummed for her. I remember that feeling as a kid myself when one of your favorite players gets traded. So bummed for her, but excited for the Bucks and excited for Bucks fans.
Yep, a different approach. All right, the Packers play tomorrow. What is your...
David Bakhtiari will not.
Okay, that was going to be my follow-up because he's been ruled out. What's your feeling on the season for David Bakhtiari, or is it just too early to call and just take it game by game and see what happens and feel stronger after a couple more games?
Yeah, I have no idea. And I don't know everything by any means, right? But I feel like I have enough of a track record where either I have information or I have enough experience and the ability to read between the lines, knowing how people describe things, knowing the people involved, that I usually, not always, but the vast majority of the time either know what's going on or can fairly accurately project what is most likely going on. Would you agree?
Yes, I would agree. I'll join that club.
I have no idea what's going on now with David Bakhtiari. None. Absolutely none. Because, again,
he never practices. How can you have any kind of
breadcrumb?
Yes. They took the bread and put it somewhere else.
Like you can't say, well, he didn't practice the first week and he played. Didn't practice the second week, the game was on turf, didn't play. Didn't practice the third week, game was on grass at Lambeau Field, didn't play. Week 4, short week, didn't play, hasn't played since September 10th. Not playing. Like, anybody who claims to have a handle on what exactly is going on with him is lying. Now, I would recommend for people, not right now because they should listen to the entirety of the Homer Hour, but go to Wisconsin On Demand or Spotify or Google Play or Apple Podcasts, however you listen. Go back to Joe Thomas being on our show.
Yes, I listened.
I think that was yesterday. And him talking about what it took for him to be able to play his final season in Cleveland with his knee all jacked up. And the fact that when he tore his triceps, the career-ending injury that he suffered, that in some ways it was a relief because it was such, to sound like Jerry Maguire, a pride-swallowing siege of trying to get ready each week without practicing. He said he practiced 3 times the entire year. Like once in camp, once early in the season, and once later in the season. That was it. And he had to put together a schedule for cortisone shots. I mean, if that is in any way similar to what David has gone through, because look, he was fantastic in Chicago. Like, he's goofing around with his centerfold pose after the touchdown and flipping fans the bird, but he had like a 96% blocking win rate. Like, he was good.
Yep.
They brought him back. They paid him all this money, I'm sure understanding, because they converted his base salary into a signing bonus, so he got all that money right away. It helped them with some cap space for this year. But they did that with the intent of saying, all right, we know he's not going to play all 17 games. We're not stupid. We know there's going to be some issues that crop up. But I can't imagine that they were expecting him to play the opener and then miss the next 3. I can't imagine that was the plan. And what worries me now, for his sake, is that, I thought he needed kind of an Andrew Whitworth-style second act. Maybe not quite as long as Whitworth had, going from the Bengals to the Rams and winning a Super Bowl, but certainly winning a Super Bowl somewhere else would help. But I seriously, I thought he was going to play out this year. They're going to cut him, take the cap hit, or somehow maybe trade him at the trade deadline if he was healthy, which I don't know what people are going to give up for him now. But I'm worried that now his Hall of Fame career is going to be cut short, and he's going to be kind of on the Hall of very, very good, and maybe doesn't get in. 5 All-Pros should be enough, but, is he going to play? Let's go beyond this year. Is he going to play next year for anybody? I did not see this coming. I saw him missing, every other game for a section of the season, maybe, if the knee flared up on him after he played a particularly rigorous game. But I did not see him playing in Chicago, and we won't see him again until at the earliest, now on Monday Night Football in Vegas in, 12 days, 15 days?
I think he's playing.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Great. I based on what?
I get believing. No. It's just believing that it's otherwise he'll be done. I think at some point he has to play, or then you think the season is over. I mean, how many weeks?
Yeah,
whatever he has, you'd know his history better. Whatever he has, you get to a certain number of weeks, and then you start wondering if he's going to play at all.
Sure.
So that's all. That's my guess. That he's not so bad that he couldn't play then.
No, I would agree, but I would just say he's in a different category. Like, this is a guy with a pre-existing injury that clearly flares up in different ways. This is not a guy with like a chronic hamstring injury that he comes back from it and then pulls it again. And so that would be my nervousness with a guy like Christian Watson, who obviously has had issues last year, now has had them this year. He is listed as questionable but expected to play along with Aaron Jones. I would just say this, and obviously they won't have Bakhtiari. They won't have Elton Jenkins for another week at least. But I really do, as someone who is fascinated by the early career arc as a starter of Jordan Love, I understand they won't have those two guys, but I'm excited to see what he can do with the full complement of would-be pass-catching, offensive skill position weapons. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, this is a new challenge. The last one is the kind that people remember, and Detroit's clearly good. I think LaFleur's lost 3 out of 4 to Detroit. They're a good team. They're a tough team, and there's enough confidence in Jordan Love to say, let's just throw it out and see what happens. I'm not expecting everyone to be perfectly, but you kind of want to see what's he going to do today, right?
Yeah, and how much better is he going to be with two of his best players? That, I know I'm excited about Jaden Reed, for example. He's impressed me from the jump. We all know Luke Musgrave is a big dude and athletic. I still think he's got ups and downs that he's going to endure. I'm sure Jaden Reed will too. But Christian Watson has a full NFL season, and obviously Aaron Jones has been in the league since 2018 or 2017. So, these are guys that they are established to varying degrees players, and I want to see what Christian Watson can do. I want to see. There were times during training camp where the two of them looked like they were really on the same page, right? And
it creates so many weapons.
Right, and again, it's an interesting conundrum because part of you wants to say, Rodgers didn't like young players, right, and wanted guys that knew what they were doing. At the same time, I look at what they've done in the last 2 drafts, one with Rodgers as the quarterback and obviously one without, to stack their pass-catching positions.
Yep.
We're not seeing much of Tucker Kraft at this point. I get that. But, Dobbs, Watson, and Reed in the last, 2 drafts, those guys are pretty darn good, it would appear.
Yeah, the same guy who drafted Rodgers and Sternberger in a couple of drafts prior to that.
Right, exactly. So, maybe he's found a solution now or found the recipe. But the bottom line is that they've got some young talent that the flashes you see, and based on the Homer rule of judging
these guys can play
based on what they do, you're excited.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now, I'm worried about Watson's durability.
Yes.
For one, but I don't think look, the numbers that Gabe gave me on passes that are thrown 20 or more yards down the field. And they did have a couple of pass interference penalties. Those are nice. They don't count in the stats.
Yeah, and I disagree with them not being counting in the stats. But
but we can understand that those are big explosive plays, regardless of whether they're caught or flagged. But of the 16 passes that counted, because obviously those don't count as incompletions either, but 3 of 16 with a pick. That's what Jordan Love's numbers are on passes thrown 20 or more yards downfield. I would argue that if you have Christian Watson, those numbers will be better.
Yes.
And I'm eager to see if that's the case.
Awesome. All right. It's huge. Huge. They win their 3-1. And they're atop the Central, right? I mean, they got a little cushion in there.
Yeah. They would have beaten the Lions, which obviously, if you can then beat them on Thanksgiving, if you win this Thursday and then do it again on that Thursday,
you're way ahead.
Yeah, you're going to go win the division. It's hard to imagine them not winning the division if they do that.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, Homer, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. Now, you need to know this. American Place Casino, a half hour south of Franklin. I say 25 minutes driving legally. A half hour, 25 minutes south of Franklin, American Place Casino. There's nothing else I can tell you is important. Yeah, they got exciting table games, blackjack, craps, and roulette. They're going to have a sports book soon. You go to AmericanPlace.com for the latest promotions and events every month. But know this, 25 minutes to a half hour south of Franklin. How far? 25 minutes to a half hour south of Franklin, American Place Casino. American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. You know the one thing I want you to remember. Caller 5, 1-800-990-3776. Wednesday, as always, Rain Man. Caller 5. Next.
The Bucks have traded for Damian Lillard.
Long range three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard!
React to the trade with us. 94.5 ESPN.
We got a crash coming out of the Mitchell interchange right around the Plainfield curve just before Holt Avenue. We've got the right lane blocked. Emergency crews are on the scene, so give them a wide berth if you can. Southbound on 43 backing up from Silver Spring all the way down through the Marquette onto 4394. The northbound side's backed up out of the Marquette up past Keefe. And westbound 94, very heavy, all the way from 794 to about Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, a chance of showers, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly to partly cloudy, chance of sprinkles with a high of 68. Weather is brought to you by Adams Generators, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Call for your free quote today at 262-944-2010 for power peace of mind, or visit adamspower.com/generators. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Tailgating is back, Wisconsin. Have you ever wondered how tailgating started? One theory is that it started during the first college football game in 1869, as spectators spent their pregame ritual grilling sausages at, of all places, the tail end of a horse. Another is that tailgating started in 1919 during the first Green Bay football season. Fans backed up their pickups to the field, folded down their tailgates for seating, and served food and beverages. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Since 1960, we've been the place to stock up for all your tailgate rituals. With over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines, Discount Liquor is your one-stop tailgate shop. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. See all of our weekly specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, bro chachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level. They came in ahead of time, made sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, you had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window. They're great professionals, Gina, and some of the best in the world at what they do.
Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window or $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for $120. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end at 9/30/2023.
Charge into October. Get your Brewers postseason tickets now. Secure your spot and prepare to unleash chaos. Make mayhem and watch stars come to life in the spotlight of postseason baseball. The Brewers moments you live for are coming. Make sure you don't miss a single pivotal pitch or season-changing home run. Get your Brewers postseason tickets now at brewers.com/postseason.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Damian Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck.
A 3 wins the series. It's Lillard. He got the shot off.
Keep it tuned right here to 94.5 ESPN. The sports trivia competition not for the weak of heart, not for the everyday man. This is Rain Man.
Rain Man lives on this show. Gone on ESPN, 15 questions in 2 minutes. I stole it. Those who did it, those who were part of it, they're all gone. But the show is not. Our Rain Man brought to you by Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, and doing it well for over 50 years. That's how you can be as good as they are. I bet they were really good after 1 year, but more than 50 years. That's why Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, and a phone number you can remember, 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161.
That number again, 262-783-6161.
There are the great sponsors, Cousin Subs, because our contestant, Stephen Kenosha, automatically gets a $25 gift card. And if he wins our competition, which this one goes until the end of the year, you would win Cousin Subs for a year. That could be worth over $300. And where we have 2 leaders at 8.
Yeah, Bob and Tosa and Terry and Waukesha.
So Steve needs to get 8 or more, and then he can't compete. And then if somebody would pass it, then you can go back in. That's why our 2 leaders can't compete. As was our last contest, where we ended up with a tie, and then we randomly picked the winner. So we'll see how Steve does.
It's actually 9, Homer, each with 9.
Each with 9, okay. Stephen Kenosha, good evening. Your resume on Rain Man, please, if you have any.
I've been a part of it one time, and I don't think I did so well.
All right. The first question, I'm sure you know, is the Big Papa Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
I tell everybody, if you don't know, pass right away, but no one listens. 3, 2, 1, go. The Marquette player who has the greatest NBA career for someone who was not drafted.
Pass.
Regular season NFC games at home for Matt LaFleur. He's at 25. How many wins in those 25 games?
21.
Correct. How many turnovers by the Packers in the first 3 games? That is Packer fumbles and interceptions.
2.
Incorrect. How many sacks have the Packers given up in the 3 games?
3.
Correct. Only Green Bay quarterback other than Jordan Love to have 3+ passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions in both of the first 2 games in a season.
Brett Favre.
Correct. How old is Jordan Love?
24.
Correct. In 4 games, Matt LaFleur's record versus Detroit coach Dan Campbell.
3-1.
Incorrect. Drew Holiday is 33. How old is new Buck Damian Lillard?
34.
Incorrect. Where did Damian Lillard play college basketball?
Pass.
With what overall pick was Damian Lillard taken in the 2012 NBA draft?
6.
That's correct. The most points Damian Lillard has scored in an NBA game, 61, 71, or 75?
61.
Incorrect. How many times has Damian Lillard scored 59 or more points in an NBA game? 2, 4, or 6?
4.
Incorrect. In the last 6 years, how many playoff appearances for the Brewers?
4.
Incorrect. Last team the Brewers beat in the playoffs?
Pass.
How many years since the U.S. won the Ryder Cup? 20, 30, or 40?
Say that again?
How many years since the U.S. won the Ryder Cup in Europe? Sorry, I didn't add that at the end. Very important. How many years since the U.S. won the Ryder Cup in Europe?
30.
30 is correct. Where did Damian Lillard play college basketball? It's too late.
Let's say Texas A&M.
Texas A&M is correct. It's even tougher. Pebble knows, I'll bet.
I do. Weber State.
Weber State, yes.
Weber State. Yep,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6.
I have 6 as well.
6. Marquette player who has the greatest NBA career for someone not drafted. Over 11,000 points, 14 seasons. Was not drafted. Wesley Matthews. Wow. Pretty amazing. You were right. Matt LaFleur, 25 NFC games at home. He's won 21. How many turnovers by the Packers in the first 3 games?
2?
1. Just 1. The 1 interception. How many sacks have the Packers given up in the 3 games? 3. 1 each game. Those are pretty tough. Yes, Brett Favre and Jordan Love did that. 3+ passing touchdowns and no interceptions in both of the first 2 games in a season. How old is Jordan Love? 24. Nicely done. What is Matt LaFleur's record against Dan Campbell? You would have known if you were listening to Jason Wilding.
1-3.
And he's lost 3 in a row. Drew Holiday is 33. How old is new buck Damian Lillard?
33.
33. They're like about 30 days apart in their birthday as well, I think. Damian Lillard played at Weber State. Overall pick, he was number 6. Nicely done. Most points Damian Lillard has scored in an NBA game, 61, 71, or 75.
71?
71 is correct. How many times, this is amazing, how many times has Damian Lillard scored 59 or more points in an NBA game? 2, 4, or 6? 6. 59, 2 at 60, 2 at 61, and 71. In the last 6 years, how many playoff appearances for the Brewers?
5.
5. Last team the Brewers beat in the playoffs?
Colorado?
Yep. And how many years since the U.S. won the Ryder Cup in Europe? Yes, it was 30. I didn't say in Europe, and Steve was nice to say what it is. Because it's only been 2 years since they last won the Ryder Cup.
That was very confusing.
Yeah, so I'll give you an extra 1. I'll give you 7. I'll give you a bonus 1 for my screw up. 7. It doesn't help you, but maybe it makes you feel better. I think you got a chance. Keep trying, Steve.
Yeah.
I think there's potential there. Tim Van Born, Fox 6 Sports. So much to discuss. Packers, Bucks, Brewers. Next.
The Bucks have traded for Damian Lillard.
Long range 3. It's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard!
React to the trade with us. 94.5 ESPN. Football guy.
I would love to go out, put pads back on, and block 7th graders. Does that make me a raging psychopath?
Football guy.
You're 6'3", 275 pounds.
Yeah, I wish.
Not
exactly the same weight class.
Coming at it from different views.
Like, I legit was thinking, boy, I could really help this team.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Announcing the former All-Star Buick GMC is now the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Oak Creek. And the former John Paul's Buick GMC is now the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Greenfield, Milwaukee's Buick GMC headquarters. Greg Cunis was recently named Time Magazine's Wisconsin Automotive Dealer of the Year. Plus, Cunis dealerships have been awarded Top 100 Best in the U.S. by the Automotive News the past 9 years. Our mission is to bring the Cunis Auto Group's unequaled customer satisfaction and service to our friends in the greater Milwaukee area. Cunis Milwaukee Buick GMC stores have the area's largest pre-owned car, truck, and SUV inventory with over 3,000 vehicles available on lot or online and always at a price and payment you can afford. And all new and pre-owned Cunis vehicles come with our exclusive no-fear lifetime warranty coverage at no extra charge. So buy like a champion at the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Oak Creek, 7020 South 27th Street, or Cunis Buick GMC of Greenfield, 3615 South 108th Street. Milwaukee's Buick GMC headquarters.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 11 to 13.7 ounce or 12 count selected varieties Kellogg's Club Crackers or Pop-Tarts, 2 for $7. 2-liter bottles selected varieties Super Chill Soda, 4 for $5. 64 ounce bottles selected varieties Old Orchard Juice, 2 for $4. 6 count selected varieties Outshine Bars, $3.99.
Let's see, spices, cardamom, hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
A
Attention Century shoppers, you're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd, autographed Packers footballs, or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increased cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is, years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Greetings, ESPN listeners. This is Matt Anderson with Maddie's Bar and Grill in New Berlin. I want to personally thank everyone for making our 25th summer amazing. The Big Backyard at Maddie's hosted over 100 catered parties and live music events, and we are just getting warmed up as we turn the corner into another great Wisconsin sports season. Our 18-foot LED wall, combined with Maddie's signature hospitality, culinary and spirits expertise, and amazing space makes this your ultimate destination for all things sports this fall. I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
The Bog in Saukville is Ozaukee County's best golf experience. 18 championship holes designed by the legendary golfer Arnold Palmer, settled amongst 250 acres of beautiful private land. The Bog caters to golfers of all skill levels, offering a golf experience unlike any other. Come enjoy the finest golf greens of Wisconsin, and after your round, enjoy a bite to eat in our restaurant or out on our new patio bar overlooking the 18th green. It's time to golf, Wisconsin. It's time to enjoy the Bog.
Damian Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck.
A 3 wins the series. It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Lillard!
Keep it tuned right here to 94.5 ESPN. The 3 most important letters in sports. Even better than those.
TVV.
It's Fox 6 Sports Director Tim Van Voren. Tim Van Voren is brought to you by Mars Cheese Castle, a Wisconsin landmark that you need to experience off I-94 in Kenosha. Meats, cheeses, bakery, bar, and restaurant all under one roof. Learn more at marscheese.com.
And I also want to mention Fisco. I tell everybody about them. Fisco Auto Body. Fisco Auto Body. So when you go there, you're like them, then you're like me. Really, yes, it helps my reputation to talk about Fisco because everybody loves them, and then they thank them and thank me. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Family business since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. So by the time they're doing it for you, they've been doing it so long. It's so easy. Though they won't tell you, you'll just notice it. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Fisco, to remember the name. TVV, Tim Van Voren, Fox 6 Sports, 3-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year. I don't know that if there have ever been as many things to discuss. It has to start with Damian Lillard, newest member of the Milwaukee Bucks. I certainly didn't see it coming, but I should have expected the possibility with his coach, Terry Stotts, as an assistant. Your thought, TVV?
I didn't think of that as well. I think that that's one of the aspects that's going to help the transition coming here to Milwaukee. You know, I don't know what the true aspect of Lillard's interest in Miami is when he doesn't end up going to Miami. So that's something we have to see. But Stotts being here certainly helps that case. And, you know, Giannis Antetokounmpo calling out what's the future, the response by John Horst and the Bucks. So I didn't see it coming either, and maybe should have put 2 and 2 together a little bit more quickly.
And I mean, I'm sure Terry Stotts said, you don't have to worry about Damian Lillard. I know he said Miami, and who wouldn't want to play with Giannis?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And, you know, and Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton, too. This is a shot at it. I mean, if Damian Lillard has wanted a shot to compete, this is an opportunity to compete. And, first-year coach, my goodness, Adrian Griffin just, rip up everything he was thinking all summer long, and now it's going to change a little bit here as well. And I think that's where the veteran assistants, Terry Stotts, obviously on one side, Joe Prunty on the other, everybody's going to step up here, and that's what the Bucs are going to be relying on. And you acquire a 7-time All-Star like that, who's still, relatively young enough at least, major asset acquisition.
If he doesn't realize that he's got a better chance in Milwaukee than Miami, I don't want him. I don't think he's going to necessarily. I mean, all right, if you had a chance to play on either team, I'd take the Bucks. I don't care where I'm living. I don't care what I do.
Heck yeah, the Bucks. I mean, Miami is. I mean, that's good when you're in that kind of tax bracket. It'd be tough for any of us to live there, but you're that kind of tax bracket. I'm sure that's good living, no doubt about it. But basketball-wise, Milwaukee, I would take it hands down over Miami. A lot of reasons why. Ownership, support of the players, no doubt about it. I mean, even look at Drew Holiday. He showed up here and look at the impact he had in this community, and he will be missed. So I think Damian Lillard walks into a tremendous opportunity, and just the idea of Giannis alone. You see some of those, mocked-up pictures today. Giannis and Dame standing next to each other on a court in Bucks uniforms. Wow, that's imposing.
And I don't know how it'll play out, but you know one thing, you will not have games in the playoff in which the Bucks don't have another alternative to Giannis with somebody who can create a shot and do it incredibly well.
And can spread the floor, can pull people out a little bit. I mean, Drew Holiday, solid game, no question about it, but a lot of his most successful stuff was going to the basket. Damian Lillard, what's his range? I mean, he can pull it out. Somebody's going to have to honor that. And that definitely opens things up on the inside for Giannis, number one, but not just Giannis. I mean, Lopez and whoever else might develop down there.
All right, to the Packers. Are you ready to put them in the playoffs, or are you like me? They beat Detroit. I got them in the playoffs, but not till then.
I'm not ready to put them in the playoffs, but I have been impressed. I think you have to say they're ahead of schedule. They're ahead of my expectations to this point. Even if they come out of this week 2-2, I think they're in pretty good shape. But I'm not ready to say, they're going to be able to coast on this. Aaron Jones has obviously been proven to be a key player in all this. If Aaron Jones is not there consistently, their offense will be schemed for and defended differently.
To score no points in the fourth quarter and then come from 17 down. You couldn't have asked any quarterback to make a transition half that large. And Jordan Love did.
Absolutely right. And, he led them to that victory. The talk was the previous week, he didn't hurt the Packers. He didn't lose the game, but he didn't go out there and make plays that you needed to make to win a game. And I think he took that to heart. And, not just that you can go out there then and do it the next time, but he was the leader. He was the reason the Packers won on Sunday. Other aspects of the team came together. But Love, and I like seeing the fire. That's certainly the most fire we've seen from Jordan Love. I don't know if that's going to be a regular thing. It's just not really normally in what he demonstrates or in the way he carries himself. But we saw it against the Saints.
So you told us about Reed. You nailed that one. Your scouting bureau is hot again. You have anybody else you want to throw out?
I think it's very. The Packers are going to get him the ball a lot, and he seems to be up to the task. So I know we've talked a little bit about him, but I think Musgrave is legit. And I think, obviously, Reed is going to be a key contributor to all this stuff. I go back to Aaron Jones, though. There was a question as to whether they were going to re-sign him this year. Remember that? And he takes the contract reduction and he comes back. So far, I think you cannot underestimate Aaron Jones. I mean, what he does for that team, he's the playmaker. He wanted to be the leader. He said he would be the leader with Aaron Rodgers leading, and he is.
What has impressed you most about the team through 3 games?
Good question. I would say just the ability to keep the spirits up. I mean, they didn't crater at all after the Atlanta loss. I think they more took it as, we won that game. We just didn't win the last quarter, and the scoreboard went against us, but we won the game. And that was without an awful lot of players on the injury list, and they're still in that injury situation. I don't see them. I think it's kind of they don't know what they don't know. If you're not playing David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins, you should say, oh my gosh, what can we do offensively? I don't think this team sees that, feels that.
And lastly, the Brewers, fantastic. As surprising a season as I can remember. Just had no idea they were this good. I want to tell people you better consider this could be it for Craig Counsell. He might never manage again for the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm not guaranteeing that, but I think it's a possibility. You want to join that club?
I certainly think it's a possibility, Homer. And Craig Counsell, I'm at the ballpark right now. Craig Counsell said last night, we got 4 more celebrations in us. That's unlike the way he normally talks.
He said that?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't have the same confidence in the playoffs. I know their pitching's good, but Atlanta, the Dodgers? Woo!
I don't know that he's saying they're going to win for it, but, I mean, he's putting it out there as a possibility, and that kind of fits with what you're talking about there.
Yeah, good point at the end. TVV, thanks. Tim Van Born, Fox 6 Sports. Busy day. Lillard. They're going to score some points. It's a new way with Giannis.
We had an earlier accident on northbound 4394 just north of Holt Avenue. That one actually has gotten cleared out of the way, and delays around that area have dissipated. Otherwise, though, we do have backups northbound on 43.